Hey y'all. Oh god, we have been sewing. And yeah, it looks pretty, but the physics ain't working. Go me. Anyway, um I'm not redoing it. I'm going to modify it. Cross fingers. But I'm going to show you what it looks like. Yeah. The physics that I'm running into is the hanging. So I've got like a shower rod, those expandable ones, I got one of those and I've been kind of like, and I held it up and I was like, oh, son of a bitch, it didn't work. Anyway, but the design is really cool. All right, so this is the valance part of it. And I don't have the buttons in, but I do have safety pins in there holding, the elastics, up, sort of. This one slipped off, but, when you get buttons on there, they'll stay on, the way it's supposed to. Anyway, hold on, let me fix it. Stay, Cooter, stay. It's not pinned on the right spot either. It's kind of pinned on the top side. But anyway, so I had initially thought that I could use this here as the pocket. The problem is that the design itself, because these are sewn together, it has to go up underneath the lace. So we can't do this as the pocket unless I put the lace on the other side. And then it's really fucking plain and makes no sense. I'll have lace up here and then I'll have this plain shit and it'll look kind of weird, right? So what we're going to end up doing is constructing a pocket that goes along the top rail. Because what happens is when you put the rod in this here, even if I were to, if I tried to tack this, it's not going to work because it's got to be reversible. See what I'm saying? So if she wants the butterflies, then what she would do was she would tack on the pink side up underneath here. And then when she turned it around, she'd have this long piece in the front and with the lace over top of it. So what we need to do is, because this is sewn together, I am going to have to construct a piece of and loop. So butterfly on one side, pink on the other, and then tack it to this top rib, which is already quilted with this really pretty vine pattern. But you know what? No big deal. It'll work. So just adds one more step to this headache. But that's the idea. So depending on what side she wants showing, and if she only wants to have that little bit of the lace showing, she can do it that way. That is not a problem. She can flip these little guys over to the corresponding, when I get the buttons put on, she can flip this over to this one, which is trying to fall out. Of course it's trying to fall out because it's not in there right. But anyway, she can flip this over and hook it on that button and flip the other one over, hook it on the middle button, and it will valance like that. So she has options. She can have a long valance, she can have a short valance, but what we got to do is create a pocket on the top in order for everything to hang. But these here, I could actually come in and quilt this, what initially was the pocket, together, because it's not going to work as a pocket. literally, the weight of this thing, it literally pulls this whole thing up and it looks absolutely stupid. So, yeah. Welcome to my world. So, this is what happens when you make things yourself and you design things yourself. You get an idea, you want it to work. It doesn't work the way you want it to work. It's okay. You got to be creative. You got to re-engineer it. It's no big deal. So, not only do I have to make a pocket for that panel, I have to make a pocket for this panel, which is sitting over there. And I also have to make a pocket for this middle valance to tie it all together. It's really not that hard. We can do it. Oh, sorry. I got beer burps because, yeah, it was about an hour ago. You know, like the video that I put out yesterday. Ouch, hooker. Fucking damn. This is dangerous. I gotta be careful. I'm gonna start bleeding all over my project. Anyway, the video I put out yesterday, I was talking about some of the crazy stuff that I've experienced. You know, there's a lot of things added in there. I mean, I'm being very generic when I'm explaining things. Like I talked about how my daughter's father had alienated her. He had alienated her around the same time that Facebook started. And I'm looking back, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm slow on the uptake. Okay. So when I discovered the cropped photo, I'm pretty sure his wife at the time had discovered the cropped photo. And it was around that time frame where the communication had gone he had stopped. I was deployed. I had talked to him. I used to have his phone number. I don't have it anymore. I talked to him one time after I got deployed. I had a Facebook. His wife has a Facebook. And then all of a sudden, he just started to like back off. And it was around 2010 when I called her out about cropping me, is when he stopped trying to communicate. So here's a specific. So yeah, I think, and he didn't want to. He's so fucking avoidant. Neglectful narcissist and very avoidant. And I'm pretty sure he didn't want to get into it with me and say, I told you so, you know, kind of thing. But one of the things that I always noticed, and it wasn't just with me, it was with him too. He would call while I was there visiting, you know. And she would talk to him about stuff and never put my fucking child on the phone to talk to him. Ever. And she did the same thing to me. I would call and we'd have conversations and she would never put my kid on the phone to talk to me. It got annoying, but you know, and you can't call it out. You just you're like, if I say something, she's gonna fucking do something to prevent me from getting any fucking interaction at all with my kid. That kind of shit. That's the situation that me and this man were in. Now, I have, you know, my daughter's dad is no fucking, you know, he's not worth fighting for in regard. I have spoke I actually had conversations with her half brother's mother, and she is a darling. And yeah, this guy is a complete shit turd all around. It is what it is. But the way my sister treated both of us, I kind of have a little bit of empathy for his lack of involvement, on her, that kind of thing. Um, my my daughter's half brother's mom, I don't keep up with it, right? Um, she, they had her husband and my daughter's half brother had gone into my sister's house for Christmas one year because he had discovered, a lot of things, like his grandfather did not know that my daughter even existed. And when he found out, he was on his deathbed. And there was no way for my sister and my daughter to get down there to actually meet the man. He never even knew about my daughter. That's how much of a shit turd her father is. So, collectively, in this triangulated, head case drama, this whole time that he was bullshitting with my sister, keeping tabs on how my daughter was doing, and all the lies and bullshit, like she had said, oh yeah, his attorney screwed up, with the custody thing. Yeah, he did, right? But she would tell people outside of him that he didn't want nothing to do with her, which wasn't true. He had tried to fight against her custody and the JAG system and the custody system within the military. He ran into a fucking brick wall because he was in Alaska. She was in New York. I was in Colorado. It fucking sucked. The whole situation. So she used that whole situation to her advantage. I had originally called him. He was my first choice as far as, sending my daughter. He was my first. I had called him and I was like, yeah, I need your help, like right now, because, I had 30 days and it was like almost like an abandonment. I was not prepared for my parents to just up and move like within a month. They put the house on the market. I knew that part, but I didn't know it was going to sell like that, right? I had no time to work with. And he was like, I can't, because I work with the fire department. I'm 24 on, 24 off. I don't have time and like to take off to do this, right? He said, but do what you need to do, and we'll work on trying to get her out here after. Well, my sister decided that she was going to try to get custody, and I called him and I said, yeah, you better get your attorney. He was like, why? I said, because she's going to try to fight custody. He's like, she can't just take our child. She needs to send her to me. She can't just, and she did. So she stole her. Because he was in the military. He had issues on that end. I was in no financial means of being able to have my daughter stay with me. I mean, I had no fucking money. I was literally charging my rent at this point. And none of my family gave a fuck. They watched me bury myself. It was bad. Bad. Yeah. So she took advantage of the situation. I had a computer degree, but IBM crashed. The Colorado went into a recession. Everything was kind of fucked up that year. And yeah, I couldn't get a job to save my life. I was doing the job that I had done part-time, and because of all of the emotional crap that I had just been put through with my own family, I was like, my father passed away, my kid was taken away from me, my sister took advantage. I went into a fit of depression. I almost dropped out of school with 3 months to go. It was everything I could do to fucking just get up and go to fucking school. And then it was shortly thereafter when I had seen my daughter at Christmas time. Everything was great. And my sister got scared. Yep. That's when she decided to, because she knew I was going to come get her. But if she could stifle my emotions, fuck with my head enough, she knew I would get depressed enough and it would thwart, it would put me into a state. She knew how to fucking manipulate me. And it worked. And then one day I don't know, it was like I was dealing with postpartum. She knows nothing about that because she never pushed a fucking baby out her crotch. She stole mine. Yeah, there was that. And then I finally got a little bit of clarity and made a decision. And it wasn't based upon, it was based upon how am I going to keep my daughter healthy and happy and whatnot. I need to be able to earn money enough to keep me sane. So I decided to go back into the military. That's when everything, she was glad because I was going to be gone. She knew that the stipulations in the military was going to, it was going to keep me from my daughter. But what she didn't realize was that with me being in the military, I was going to have the income in order to be able to support putting stipulations on the custody. And she never did honor it. I could have taken her to court 1,000 times. I just didn't have time. And it wasn't, was it really worth it? The point is that she has talked so much shit over the years. She's got family convinced that she's the mother. She's not the mother. I'm the mother. And she's got everybody convinced that I wasn't there. Yes, I was there. Fighting tooth and nail to be there. That every visitation was congested with so many fucking activities that I didn't hardly have any time alone with my kid. That was deliberate. That was fucking deliberate. Bunch of fucking excuses. So I was to the point where I don't want to upset my kid, and if should something happen and I don't call on a regular, if I miss that one day that I'm supposed to call, I don't want it to affect my child. So I never had a consistent thing. I was very inconsistent on purpose. So that way she didn't get into a fucking routine. Thinking, okay, it's Sunday, mom's gonna call, and if I'm out on a mission and I can't fucking call, and my kid is going to have a nervous fucking breakdown. That I did not want to happen. So when you call inconsistent, they know mommy's inconsistent. This is not a schedule. There was a point where she had my number. She would call me all the time. Well, my sister didn't like that. She didn't like the fact that my daughter was calling her when she was about, 13, 12. My daughter never called me when she was at home. She only called me when she was at her friend's. Her best friend that bought her the crib. She figured it out. but still had about 2 years after she got married, and that was a lot to do with the rules and regulations within the church that she was upset at me about, because I was pissed because I couldn't even get a parental pass for, seeing the ceiling in the temple. They've changed all that since, but it was about 2 years when, it was about 5 months after she got married, or 6 months after she got married, they changed all the fucking rules. I was like, if you had just waited 6 months, she's like, I know, is it fucking, her husband, she's like, he feels really bad. He goes, because he's the reason why they changed it. He's like, this is crap. Why do we have this rule? What is the significance? We're so family oriented, but, not everybody is going to be a member of this church. And you're punishing the parents of these people, whether it be male or female. They cannot fucking see their kid get fucking sealed. Whatever they choose, you get these diplomatic parents like me. It's like, I don't care what you do as long as you don't kill anybody, that kind of thing. Yeah, he's basically the voice of reason for that. But anyway, the point is, my sister has done a lot of very indecent, morally indecent, sketchy, psychological manipulation. Not only to me, but my daughter's father. And yeah, my daughter's father is no fucking prize when it comes to, morals and ethics, being a parent. But the point is that, yeah, every time he'd call, she would never put my daughter on the phone. And I'm pretty sure he got sick of that. So the gifts stopped coming. I tried to reach out to his wife. She did not respond back. But the half brother's mother was extremely cordial. Her and I, we gabbed for paragraphs on Messenger, talking about stuff, and she's like, yes, we are not fond of your sister. I said, I agree. No harm, no foul. And I explained a lot of, what, of course, my daughter's father's dispositions on that were also. So she gets it. She gets, why he stopped contacting on that regard. She doesn't understand why he kept my daughter a secret. That she said that was stupid. But they just love my kid. And her and I, very much copacetic. And her son at least gave me the respect. It felt so good. It was one of those moments where it was like, he contacted me on Facebook and he said, are you her mother? And I'm like, yes, I am. I understand that she lives with her aunt. I said, yes, she does. Would it be okay if I contacted her? And I said, I think that is a fantastic idea. So they are very close and they are adorable. And that is one of the only good things that I can say about, that has come about. And my sister had welcomed them and yada yada, but they did not like her. And nobody likes her. Can't imagine why. They see through her shit. I was, his family, I was ignorant. I didn't see through the shit. And my daughter's father said something to me once that it's haunted me into this day. And what he said was, it's your world, you live in it. And I didn't understand what he meant. And it was basically, yeah, he's a piece of shit, but he could see through her too. And I was like, wow. He could see through it. And I what was I missing? And, you know, and I started back then. God, that was way back. Trying to see what he was seeing. And now, I mean, God, I've been seeing it for a very fucking long time. It's just now I have the audacity to talk about it. But, yeah, that just kind of brings you up to speed on, you know, a lot of the emotional turmoil outside of, you know, first it, you know, started with this stupid narcissistic relationship that I literally, it's now over 2 years. I still haven't been involved with anyone. I don't. Yeah, if that's what I have to look forward to, and every man that walks the face of the fucking planet, if there's no decent fucking men out there that, you know, yeah, and maybe this was my karma because I let one go that was just a beautiful person fucking when my daughter was like a year old. I should have kept him. But, you know, the opinions of my family mattered back then. Yeah. Stupid me. Yeah. And here we are. Regrets. Think about it. But, yeah. I think I think they wanted, they didn't, they just, my family just wanted me to fail from birth. I mean, I can't, I look back on shit and I'm like, God, they fucking, like, what, did they fucking hate me? What did I do? Oh, I was born. That's what happened. Yeah, and I survived. That sucks. Sorry. Disappoint y'all. But here I am. Yeah. And I've been a thorn in their side ever since. That's how it feels. Yeah. For the most part. Now, why my mom is all up in my shit, I mean, she ain't called in like 2 days. I'm fucking shocked. Yeah. She probably saw this video or got wind of it and you know what? Yeah. Why are you so fucking nice now? Why do you need to help me? I'm grateful that you were here for when my knee surgery and I needed your help and, you know, everything. Yeah, I'm grateful. But I'm wondering why. Because, God, less than 10 years ago, you fucking hated me. Because I was there when my daughter was going to prom and I was there when they were visiting, but God forbid my daughter come and visit me for an hour across the yard. You know, that kind of shit. Yeah. It's questionable. What the fuck? Yeah. Was it my stepdad's putting his foot down? Saying, you know, yeah, you treat her like shit? Knock it the fuck off? Or, you know, she harboring guilt? What the fuck? I don't know. Why? I have no idea. All I know is I gotta finish these sewing projects. And I'm hoping that I can get them mailed here by the end of the month. Get them out to her. You know, at least this portion of it. The sheets that I've done and the curtains. And I'll worry about all the licky chewy shit. Like comforter and the valance and that stuff. I've got a bunch of stuff out in the garage I gotta go get. I got stuff at my mom's that I want to send to her. You know. But anyway. That is all, y'all. Yeah, I can babble for hours. Yeah, I got shit to talk about. I got a lot of emotional pain. People can resonate with. Some people don't. Some people just click off after the first 5 minutes. I don't give a shit. You know, I don't have a million subscribers. I'm not out here making money off of this. I just freeze free, you know. I pay for YouTube only so I don't have to listen to the fucking ads. So, anyway, y'all, take care. Peace out.